Hey everyone, I am here for my July releases video. And again, this is the time of the year that book releases are starting to slow down. May kind of took the title as far as like the releases month of 2016. But as always, I'm going to talk about 5 books that are coming out in the month of July. And I will also feature the like big releases that everybody knows about, that everybody's talking about, and give you the release dates for those. So, in the month of July, there might be a little book coming out that you may have heard of the series. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I think you guys have heard of that series before. That's coming out in July, so that's pretty much going to be what everybody is reading this summer. I am so excited. It comes out on July 31st, Harry's birthday, and I believe, isn't that J.K. Rowling's birthday also? Yeah, so, I mean, all of the rest of the books in this video are gonna be kind of cool, but I mean, you're not gonna beat a new Harry Potter book. Even though it's like a screenplay and it's not really like in the series, it's Harry Potter. So that's happening. As far as other big releases or sequels that are coming out, we are getting This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab. Or Victoria Schwab? I think she's Victoria Schwab when she's in YA. This comes out on July 5th. Everybody and their mom is talking about this book right now. We are also getting The Shadow Hour. This is by Melissa Gray, and this is the sequel to The Girl at Midnight. This is coming out on July 12th. And we are also getting Paper and Fire, and this is a sequel to Ink and Bone, and this is by Rachel Kane, and this comes out on July 21st. So that's it for like the big releases and the big sequels that are coming out in July. Again, Harry Potter's coming out, so we're really excited for that. Getting into the newer, either debut authors or standalones or just beginnings of new series, the first book that I want to talk about is called A World Without You, and this is by Beth Revis. Beth Revis wrote the Across the Universe series that came out like years ago, the like sci-fi spaceship type one. This one sounds totally different, and it actually sounds really, really interesting. It follows 17-year-old Beau, and he claims to have kind of a special superpower. He claims that he sees delusions of time travel, basically. He claims that he's seen, like, scenes from the Titanic sinking. He's seen, like, a scene of, like, the Civil War happening. And so his parents, I don't know if they think he's crazy or if they're trying to feed into his ability, but they send him to a school for troubled youth, or, you know, like Xavier's school is kind of like an X-Men type school, where he meets Sophia, who is a really troubled girl. She comes from a really, really dark past, but she also has the ability to turn invisible. So they start to fall in love, and he thinks that he can use his ability to kind of help her overcome her really dark past. And from what I'm getting from the synopsis, that seems to backfire, and I think that she actually commits suicide. So therefore, this book is taking a very dark turn, and we are still following Beau trying to figure out how to save her from that happening using his time travel abilities, or he thinks that he might be stuck somewhere in one of his time traveling eras. So it just sounds like it could go a whole bunch of different ways. It sounds like it's going to be really heart-wrenching, but it just sounds very interesting. And this is coming out on July 19th, so stay tuned for that. It's also an amazing cover. The next book that I want to talk about is Signs of You, and this is by Emily France. This comes out on July 19th. I've seen a couple people talking about this. It looks really interesting. It sounds like a cute contemporary, but with kind of a heavier twist to it. This is about a girl who lost her mom a couple years ago, and she has taken solace in the family of friends that she's made in a grief counseling group. And while she's kind of going through life and trying to overcome the death of her mother, she starts to see signs of her mom. And you know how everybody says, like, once somebody passes on, you see signs from them, like whether it's something that is familiar to that person, or if you just see a rainbow, you think that's kind of a sign from the person who has passed on, letting you know that they're okay. This book seems to take that theory literally. Like, she starts seeing signs, like she starts to see like her mom in the grocery store, and she thinks that she's going insane and that she has these crazy hallucinations. But then she starts talking to her friends in this support group, and they also have similar experiences, so it kind of seems like it's actually taking on like a paranormal aspect. I'm really excited to see how this book handles the concept of grief mixed in with potential supernatural stuff. I don't know. I just think it's gonna be really cool. Again, this comes out on July 19th. The next book I want to talk about is called Learning to Swear in America, and this is by Katie Kennedy. This comes out on July 5th, and this just sounds great. This just sounds like the perfect summer read. It sounds hilarious. This follows the story of Yuri, who is a physicist prodigy from Russia, who is being called in by NASA to come to America because there's an asteroid heading towards Earth, which would obviously, you know, be bad. So they have called Yuri in to try and assist in helping Earth get through this, and it seems like it's just going to follow his journey through trying to convince adult physicists and scientists at NASA that he's worth believing and worth listening to, even though he's a teenager. And it sounds like he also meets another like super genius teen that they start to bond. It just sounds great. I think this is just the epitome of a great summer read. It sounds lighthearted, but probably touching and hilarious the entire time based on the title. So this comes out on July 5th and I'm really excited to pick it up. The next book that I want to talk about is called Smash and Grab, and this is by Amy Christine Parker. This is like a heist story, which I have mixed feelings about. They're not my go-to story, but I know a lot of people love them. This is following the adrenaline junkie Lexi as her dad got arrested from a bank robbery, and she doesn't think twice about trying to go in and steal the evidence in the bank that kind of got her father arrested. So it's her heist story trying to steal the evidence to redeem her father. And we're also following Christian, who is a hacker bank robber, so I'm assuming their stories are going to collide over the course of this heist because both of them have their heisty situations going on at the same time. This just sounds like a great, again, summer, probably light, really funny read, and I'm really excited for this. And the last book that I want to talk about is called Monterey Bay, and this is by Lindsay Hatton. This comes out on July 19th. This is set in 1940, and it just sounds very interesting. I'm kind of getting the vibe that it's supposed to be historical fiction because we're following Steinbeck. So that's going to be kind of intriguing. I like that we're starting to follow famous writers in books as far as historical fiction goes. That's just a very interesting, appealing topic to me. But we are following Margaret, who follows her dad around on kind of like scientific adventures around the world. And they end up in Monterey Bay, where John Steinbeck is hiding out with a biologist because there's some sort of mystery going on in the bay that they are trying to solve or uncover. And she gets swept up into the whirlwind of this adventure with John Steinbeck, and that just sounds really interesting, but it also looks very intelligently written. This has a very interesting historical vibe to it, and I'm just really excited to see how this turns out. And again, this comes out on July 19th. So those are all the books that I want to talk about that are coming out in the month of July. Again, Harry Potter is coming out in July, so that's gonna take the cake. So that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys are reading some amazing books, and I will see you guys next time.